guys, we're starting on the second floor, and check this out. So obviously there's stuff left behind here, otherwise I wouldn't call it awesome. But look at this. The bed was made with logs and like very, very crude kind of design, but still pretty interesting to find. Now, I don't want to show that newspaper because it does have some names of the area that it's in, and but the date on the newspaper was 1992. There's a calendar right here, 1960. But again, I gotta be careful because I don't want to show any city names. And look at this bathroom. So, no privacy whatsoever because you've got friggin', like, here's your tub, here's Urbex Jamie, what is up, guys? But like, look at this door. You go to the bathroom, there's a friggin' window right there. Well, I guess there's a curtain rod, but still kind of funny. Now, I haven't, like I said, I've never seen anybody else post this house, which is quite surprising, but it's in a very not easily accessible area. And look at this bedroom. All these feather beds, like bed mattresses, and they're all kind of shredded and ripped apart. Is there anything in this closet? Whoa, look at that wall. I wonder if that's like, was painted or what? Whoops. Sorry guys, my light had a malfunction there. But back to where we were, the closet. No, there's nothing in the closet. But nice sized bedrooms, eh? Again, this one also has the wood block footing. Oh, there's an old baseball bat. And it's been cracked. Look at this, guys. That is an old spinning wheel. Now that is an antique right there. I cannot tell you how old this thing is. I'm sure it dates back to the 1800s. I believe that was used to spin wool to make blankets and other items. But look at those curtains too. What do we got down here? Just little random bits of stuff. Little buttons. So this obviously was a sewing room. Whether or not this was actually, this spinning wheel was ever used, I can't tell you. Or if it's just a collected antique. Now, I told you we're on the second floor, but a lot of older Ontario farmhouses had a second floor door where they could actually get out to a balcony, but most of them do not still have a balcony. Those are usually been taken down or just fallen down over time. Wow, just a room full of boxes of newspapers. Oh, look at the decay in here. Lots of decay where the chimney is. And look at the curtains. Oh, look at this. Just a little bit of neat finds. Got, what's that say, at rest. There's an old razor and then an eczema ointment, hairbrushes, glasses. Check this out, guys. Those old portraits. I wonder if they were people that lived here or relatives of them. So now this is a staircase into the attic. Just pretty friggin' nice staircase for something to go up to the attic. Well, it's pretty hot up here. Whoa. Now this floor, if you look at the floor, there's spaces and everything. But check out this old portrait. That's so cool. See if I can get my light to not be so horrible on it, but look at that. Wow. And then look at all these books. Whoa. American Woman, August 1919. The American Woman. There's some really old literature up here. So that seems to be about it for up here. There's not really a lot there. I do remember there being more items when I was here last. Like I said, well, I remember in this room there were some dressers. And I'll put a link to my website where it'll show my current pictures as well as what the pictures look like when I first visited and discovered this place. It's pretty hot up there. Now look at this. You got cracks all in the wall. And as we head downstairs, you can see the foundation, or not the foundation, but the plaster's all coming away. So this place is starting to decay pretty bad. I'm not entirely sure how long it's been abandoned, but it certainly looks like it's a long time. So here's the kitchen. Now I don't know if you guys can notice, but it's all sloping towards underneath that big wood stove. So I got to be very careful when I navigate through here, because I can get through to this other room over here. Look at this old stove. Well, that looks like it's a vent of some sorts. And look at the original wallpaper behind it. That's pretty cool. But everywhere, the walls are all starting to buckle in and everything. Got an old TV right there on the ground. And totally strange to have a toilet in this room. But you can see they've got like a railing around there, or a rail to put a curtain around it. So I guess it's a little more private. Wow. Like it's just, now that freezer looks relatively new, but it's not. It's probably at least 20 years old. And like the floors are just, I don't really enjoy stepping on this area, guys. Check this out. Got a beauty pump organ here. Thomas Organ Company of Woodstock, Ontario. Isn't that sweet? Back her up to get a good view. Look at that, eh? And then up here, it's difficult to see because of the reflection from the light outside. I can turn my light down. Hopefully that helps a bit. But this is, actually I'll do this, a friggin' bug collection. So you've got butterflies, dragonflies, moths. This is like Silent of the Lambs kind of stuff, guys. A little box with knickknacks. This might be like a sewing box of sorts. And this is Diamond Jubilee Confederation, 1867 to 1927. I wonder what that is. Is this a military? Oh, it says the name, actually. I don't want to put that on the camera, but wow. So over here is the other side of the kitchen. Let me actually get my, there we go. And that leads to the basement. We'll check that out maybe. There's nothing down there. I've already came in through that way, so, but maybe from this angle you can see a little better. It's all sloping towards the center, just below or in front of that wood stove. Alright, so now we're moving on to the last room of the house. And this is incredible, guys. Let me just back up and let you have a little look around first. I'm going to put some light on too, just to brighten things up. And look at that. So over here, we've got one of those old wind-up telephones. The Northern Electric Manufacturing Company Limited. That's so cool. And then, as we move on, things get a little creepy. Stuffed owl. I remember when I first came into this room, guys, I was totally creeped out by that, obviously. So I wasn't sure if it was living in here or if it was just a stuffed thing. It took me a minute. And we got an old gramophone. And then another piano. The other one was a pump organ. This is actually a piano. And that's just so wicked. Got a cross on it, this book. It's obviously a Bible. Another Bible. And this looks like some kind of light. I don't know if that's for trains. Then we got these creepy, what? I guess they're not really creepy, portraits up top there. And then of course that cool set of old shoes. And then over here, we have some more really old portraits. And like, they don't look too happy in there. But I guess for these type of portraits, you had to keep no smile. And then I found something really interesting that, to me, it's really cool. Seeing as my grandfather fought in the Second World War. Actually, both my grandfathers did. But these are trench maps. And this one's from Belgium, England. Now, this is obviously not trench maps for England, but this is a trench map for France. So this is probably from World War I. And there's a bunch of, war items. Another Belgium. This is French trench map. France, Belgium and France. Just really interesting stuff. Oh, holy crap. Guys, that is an old Air Force helmet. That is so cool.